In the heart of the decaying city of Hollowbrook, where the streets remained dark even during the day, I found myself entangled in a nightmare that defied reason and explanation. I'm a solitary man of few vices, and I lived in a small, dilapidated apartment on Elm Street. I had always been a man of routine and order, until one fateful night, something came to me from the shadows. It started as whispers in the dead of night, unintelligible mutterings that slipped through the cracks in the walls. I chalked it up to the building's age, perhaps imagining things, but the sinister undertones in those whispers disturbed me deeply. Over time, they grew louder, more pronounced and clearer. I realized they weren't mere figments of my imagination. They were calculated and malevolent. One moonless night, as I lay wide awake in my bed, the sinister whispers coalesced into words. "Thomas," the voice hissed, dripping with venom, "you're not alone." Cold sweat soaked my sheets, and I clutched the crucifix hanging above my bed. "Who are you?" I demanded, my voice shaky. "I am the darkness that resides in the depths of your soul," the voice replied, growing stronger and more corporeal. "I am the demon you've awakened." I was trapped in a nightmare of my own making. I had always been fascinated by the occult, and in a moment of reckless curiosity, I stumbled upon an ancient ritual in an old grimoire. In the darkest hours of the night, I had performed it. Now, the consequences were more terrifying than I could have ever imagined. The demon's torment escalated. I saw sinister apparitions in the corner of my eyes, phantoms that whispered threats and gibberish. Shadows danced unnaturally, and the temperature in my apartment plummeted as an unrelenting sense of dread settled in my bones. My grip on sanity weakened with each passing day, and I knew there was only one way to end this nightmare. I had to confront the demon head on. One stormy night, when the rain hammered against my windows, I gathered my courage and descended into the labyrinthine alleyways that snaked through Hollowbrook. As I ventured deeper into the heart of darkness, the voice of the demon grew louder and more coherent. At last, I reached a secluded alley, where the flickering light of a single broken street lamp cast eerie shadows. And there, amidst the swirling mist and darkness, a pair of glowing eyes met my gaze. The demon had taken the form of a cat, its fur as black as the void. The cat stared at me with a malevolence that transcended the animal kingdom. It arched its back and hissed, revealing sharp fangs. "Why are you tormenting me?" I cried out, desperation lacing my words. The cat's eyes glowed with an otherworldly intensity, and it spoke with the same sinister voice that had haunted my dreams. "You summoned me, and now you're mine," it said, its mule transformed into an eerie, mocking laugh. I felt my world unraveling as the demon cat prowled closer. The alley seemed to warp and twist around us, reality itself breaking down. The cat's laugh intensified, echoing off the crumbling buildings that surrounded us. In a surge of defiance, I clutched the crucifix I had brought with me and recited a prayer. The demon cat recoiled, its fur bristling, and it let out a high-pitched wail that made the very air quiver. But the struggle was far from over. The alley seemed to twist and distort even further, as if it were a passage to some infernal realm. The cat's laughter intensified, filling the night with a malevolent cacophony. In a final, desperate act, I cast the crucifix toward the demon cat, and it burst into a blinding light. The creature screeched in agony, its form dissolving into smoke and shadow. The alley returned to its mundane, dilapidated state, and the whispers, the apparitions, and the dark presence vanished. As the first light of dawn broke over Hollowbrook, I knew I had been forever scarred by my brush with the supernatural. I had stared into the abyss and had been fortunate enough to turn away. But the chilling laughter of that demon cat would haunt my dreams, reminding me that the darkness was never truly vanquished, only waiting in the shadows, biding its time. After the harrowing encounter in the alley, I believed I had finally banished the demon that had tormented me for so long. Days turned into weeks, and the whispers, apparitions, and haunting laughter ceased. I began to hope that my life might return to some semblance of normalcy. However, I couldn't shake the feeling that something sinister still lingered. There were moments when I'd swear I saw those glowing, malevolent eyes lurking just out of my peripheral vision. It was as if the demon had left a mark on my very soul, an indelible stain that refused to fade. Then, one fateful night, as I walked home through the desolate streets of Hollowbrook, I heard it. That eerie, mocking laughter echoed through the darkness as if carried on a ghostly wind. It sent shivers down my spine, and I knew with a sickening certainty that the demon had not been banished. It had merely retreated, lurking in the shadows, watching and waiting. Every night, as I navigated the dark streets, the laughter followed me, a chilling reminder of the demon's enduring presence. It became a constant companion, an inescapable tormentor. The more I tried to ignore it, the louder and more menacing it grew. The laughter became an inescapable part of my existence, a sinister undercurrent to my everyday life. I tried to confide in others, but no one could hear the laughter but me. My friends and family began to worry, thinking I had succumbed to madness. As time went on, the laughter became more insistent, more invasive. It filled my thoughts, taunting me and driving me to the brink of despair. Sleepless nights turned into weeks, and my sanity unraveled like a frayed rope. After months of enduring the relentless torment, my fragile grasp on sanity finally shattered. My desperate pleas for help and the endless claims of hearing the demon's laughter led to my friends and family making a painful decision. They had me committed to a mental institution where I was confined to a sterile room and subjected to treatments meant to quell the relentless voices in my head. Strapped to my bed in the dimly lit room, I lay in a drugged haze, my eyes vacant and hollow. I was a mere shell of the man I had once been, haunted by the memories of the demon's torment and the laughter that had followed me like an unshakable shadow. Then, one fateful night, as I lay in my restraints, the room plunged into darkness. The air grew icy cold, and an eerie hush descended over the ward. It was as though the very fabric of reality was bending around me. And then, out of the inky blackness, the demon appeared. It took on a grotesque and indistinct form, its malevolent presence sending shivers through my already frayed nerves. The room seemed to warp and distort as the demon drew closer and closer. My restraints offered no protection from this otherworldly visitor. The demon's laughter filled the room, echoing with a sinister glee that sent a jolt of terror through my numbed senses. I was paralyzed with fear as the demon's chilling breath caressed my quivering flesh. It slowly leaned in close, its eyes glowing with an unearthly light, and whispered, "I've got you now.